What's up? Happy Monday. Time for another edition of 3 Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew, Meghan, Triplett, John Roser. And John, we got a lot to talk about. And let's just talk about football first because it was wild and it was crazy. Let's start in the NFL. I mean, so much drama, so much madness. And let's do the whole top four discussion because that's a big thing in college football. And we'll get to that second. Give me your top four teams in the NFL, especially seeing from what you have seen through 5 weeks.
In the NFL, my top four teams, I said last week, I tweeted to somebody last week. I can't remember. I think it was FanDuel Sportsbook who tweeted out the best team in the NFL is, and I said the Bills or the Cowboys. I said the Bills or the Cowboys. So the Bills and the Cowboys to me are the two best teams in the league. I think they have gotten much better on defense. Dallas had secondary issues, but Trayvon Diggs is just, I mean, he's been the best corner in the NFL. The guy picks off everything this year, Diggs Island. And Buffalo's secondary has gotten way better this year, and their offenses are explosive. Buffalo and Dallas. I mean, explosive. So I think the Bills and the Cowboys to me are the two best teams. And then for the third and fourth teams, I'm just going to go with the legends. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers 4-1. And I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. They're 4-1. Cincinnati is sneaky. Good. Like, they're not bad. Like, that offense is real. And Green Bay should have won that game a million different ways yesterday, and it took them late into overtime because Mason Crosby missed kicks, Cincinnati missed kicks. Like, neither one of those teams wanted to win that game. But I'll go with Green. I mean, Rodgers still just some of the throws he makes. I'm like, that 60-yard bomb to Devontae Adams. I'm like, he makes that like just look as easy as it is for me to just go like walk across the street. Like, I mean, it's unbelievable some of the throws he makes. But I'll go Bills, Cowboys, Bucks, Packers.
Okay. All right. So mine are a little different. I don't know why you did not say this at all in your top four, but the Cardinals, undefeated. The Cardinals are legit. The Cardinals.
No, they're not. You'll find out. We actually gave the blueprint on what to do. We kept Kyler in the pocket. You keep that kid in the pocket and he ain't that good. He's fine. He's good. He's a good quarterback. He's fine. He has a ton of weapons.
But they defeated you guys. They beat my team too. They beat the Titans a week.
No. They tried to look. We started the fourth youngest quarterback in NFL history. And we could have won the game. We tried to. We had penalties that killed us in that one. It is what it is. But defensively, we were really good, and we kind of showed teams the blueprint of how to contain him.
Okay, well, so
look, you can't let Kyler get out of the pocket. You can't let him get out of the pocket.
Look, they're still my number one. They're still my number one team. In my last three, in no really particular order, I'm going to go with the Rams, and then I'm going to go with the Chargers, and then my fourth team, which I had to kind of go back and forth on, and that's the Buffalo Bills, because of what we saw from Sunday Night Football, especially against the Kansas City Chiefs. They figured some things out. Their offense is great. Their defense is looking good. And the Rams and the Chargers, and for LA to go from like having no NFL team there, they have two of the best teams. And I have not been big on Justin Herbert. I was not big on him last season. And I now have to give him his flowers and say, like, look, this guy is someone to watch. This team is someone to watch. And then the Rams have figured it out. Matthew Stafford coming in, they've looked impressive. And hey, you said the Cowboys. I'm not there yet. I still think they can be legit. I can't say the Cowboys ever. It didn't come out right. But those are my top four.
What it shows is there are a lot of really good teams in the NFL in 5 weeks. There are a lot of really good teams, and you could go a ton of different ways. The only team we had in common was Buffalo. So that shows you, and you had them listed last. I have them listed as the best team in the NFL. So, it just shows there's a ton of way to go. It's been a fun season so far. This weekend of football, and we'll transition to college football now. It was the weekend in football, college and the NFL was wild. It was wild. Alabama goes down. Oklahoma should have gone down. Spencer Rattler gets benched. Caleb Williams comes in. Oklahoma comes back and wins the Red River. We had a crazy, wild, fun game down in Oxford between Ole Miss and Arkansas. Yeah. I watched that entire game. Tennessee, Ole Miss is coming up this weekend. The total opened at 85.5 for that game. Tennessee continues to put up points. So it is. College football has been crazy too. So Meghan, your top four in college football.
Okay, I know this is a big discussion, especially on Monday with Alabama losing. So number one has to be Georgia, and now we're going to see Georgia and Kentucky play on Saturday, where that's the game day game, and that's where they're going. So Georgia is my number one. Number two is Iowa. Iowa, gets a big victory over Penn State. Super close game, down to the wire. The injury really did affect Penn State. Number three, I'm gonna give props to Cincinnati. Cincinnati, it's time. Welcome into the top four. I hate that their schedule is not as hard moving forward, but they're my number three team. And then number four, I would give it to Penn State. I think for Penn State, for the wins that they do have and to play in the Big Ten Conference, I think a lot will be proven as we move forward, but the injury might be a big factor to their quarterback. But Penn State, they should have won that game against Iowa, but things changed when the quarterback went out. I'm going to say they're still in the top four. And I don't know how Alabama is in the AP poll top 5 still, because I'm just like, you lost to Texas A&M. I think Alabama should be further on down the road, but Penn State should be still in the top 4. Who do you have?
Okay, you're going to be stunned by this top 4. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma.
What?
Those are the 4 best teams in college football. If you told me I had to bank on 4 teams on a neutral field against any other teams, now this is Oklahoma with Caleb Williams, who showed a lot more guts and can run the ball. Not Spencer Rattler. Has he transferred, by the way? I tweeted on
haven't gotten an alert.
Spencer Rattler has entered the transfer portal. I don't know if I can't believe he hasn't yet, because there's no way you can go back to Spencer Rattler after Caleb Williams brought you back from that. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma are the 4 best teams in the country to me. I'd have Penn State right outside of that. I don't think Iowa's that good. It's smoke and mirrors. Iowa would have gotten drilled by Penn State on Saturday if that kid didn't get hurt. They were down, 17-3? I mean, they were rolling. And then that kid who backed up Sean Clifford came in. I mean, that kid could throw the ball. He could not throw. I mean, he threw it to the other team.
Yeah.
But you could tell, look at his form throwing it. It's like, oh my God, this kid has horrible mechanics. And it was.
Of course you put Ohio State.
It was Penn State's defense trying to hold on. Yeah, sneaky. Watch Ohio State. They're starting to.
Look at the shirt you have on. You're a little biased.
It's Brutus.
You're a little biased.
I don't think Ohio State is as good as now as they were under Justin, when they had Justin Fields the last 2 years, or some of those other stars like J.K. Dobbins. But they do have the receivers in Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. But and C.J. Stroud puts up numbers, man. And if you look at go look at what they're doing right now. They're starting to they're lighting teams up now. And this is the Ohio State we expected to see to start the season. Oklahoma, because if they start Caleb Williams and they can do that and that's how explosive they can look, Oklahoma's got to be in there to me. And then Georgia's the Alabama thing. Alabama beat themselves. Texas A&M has a world of talent. That's the Texas A&M we were expecting to see at the beginning of the season.
They should not be in the top 4 because you lost to Texas A&M. I'm sorry, Alabama. I think they'll move their way back up, but
they'll move their way back up. But I mean, if they played Cincinnati or Iowa this weekend, Alabama would be favored by 3 touchdowns. So.
Okay, really quickly, we're running out of time. WNBA, they voted on their GOAT as part of the celebration of 25 years. Diana Taurasi was named the GOAT on Sunday, received an amazing basketball. Do you agree? And who would be your GOAT?
Cheryl Swoops is the best women's basketball player ever. I heard this conversation that you had on Rise and Grind, and I was so disgusted and so appalled at the conversation that took place. Cheryl Swoops is the GOAT of women's basketball. There's no doubt about it. Her or Cheryl Miller, but I'm going to go Cheryl Swoops because that's who I grew up watching play. And she was the reason I ever watched women's basketball was Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl Swoops, shout out, GOAT, also a recipient of the Sports Legacy Award that she received at MLK Day here at FedEx Forum.
And look, WNBA, there's so many great players. Why are we voting on this? I didn't need this. I know it's a celebration for 25 years. I just don't believe us voting on the GOAT. It's for media and fans to talk about. When you vote on it and have to give it to a gift at a game, didn't like it.
I don't get that either.
That's all it's
a little weird doing it at the game.
Why do we do that?
It's a little strange. It's a little strange doing it at the game.